Welcome to YOGALATES with SJ and to this full body Pilates workout for weight loss. So today we're going to start here in a child's pose, so bringing the big toes together, knees out wide, starting to lengthen the arms forward and allowing the forehead to come down onto the mat. And then we're starting to round the spine, shifting the hips forward and shoulders away from the ears. Elbows go straight back as you lower all the way down onto your belly. Then you're starting to bring the right leg to come up. You're coming onto your forearms and your torso is facing straight down, and you're starting to bend through that right knee, drawing it in and then lengthening the leg back out. Keeping this going. As you continue with this, keeping your core engaged, keeping the shoulders away from the ears. We've got our leg around about hip height, so we're not bringing it up too high, and you're using your core as well as your glute to drive this movement. So just having a neutral foot here and keeping length through the back of the neck. Your gaze is just forward or straight down, and then we are starting to sweep the arm up, coming over to the other side. So your left leg lifts and you are coming onto the forearms, or you can have one hand on the mat here, and your gaze is straight down, torso pointing straight down, and bending the knee in and pressing the leg back out. Continuing with this. Feeling that strength in the outer thigh, the outside of the glute, as well as your core, drawing the knee in and keeping that core connection as you press the leg back out. So good, you guys. Keep this going. Nice. Staying strong and coming all the way down. We're coming onto the hands and knees, tucking the toes under and starting to sit back towards the heels, rounding the spine chin to chest as you draw the belly button back towards the spine, finding a beautiful C shape here, and then keeping the chin tucked down, rolling the spine, coming all the way up, sitting back towards the heels, shoulders released down. And then we're starting to shift forward again and tucking the toes, lifting the hips, dropping the heels, downward facing dog. Taking a moment here maybe to pedal out the legs, or you can just start to find straightness through the back of the legs. Anything at all. We're just wanting to find that lift up of the pelvis, and then making baby steps all the way forward to the front of your mat. Taking a moment here to lift those hips up a little higher, bring the belly towards the top of the legs, maybe bending through one knee and then the other as you find that beautiful lengthening out of the back of the legs, letting the head and shoulders relax, the arms are relaxed down, taking some deep breaths here in through the nose and out the nose or mouth, letting it all go, releasing and just feeling that connection of the feet evenly, the soles of both feet as they connect down into the earth here. You might bump the hips a little bit from side to side, just finding those cleansing breaths, maybe holding on to somewhere on the legs, maybe behind the knees or behind the ankles, finding even more length and breathing in, breathing out. Beautiful. And then we're just starting to bend through one knee, then the other, finding even more of a release here. And then you might like to take opposite elbow with opposite hand, letting the head and neck go, maybe nodding the head yes, shaking the head no. Anything at all that feels amazing for you today. Awesome. And then we're going to come all the way down onto your mat. When you're ready, just taking your time to come down to a seated position. Bringing the soles of the feet together and letting the knees fall out wide. And then you're lengthening the legs forward. And if you want to, you can place something under the knees, or you can just allow the legs to go long. We just don't want to hyperextend the back of those knees. And then just starting to find a forward fold. So just hinging from the hips as you let the arms come down to either side of the legs, or maybe holding on to somewhere on the feet. Just letting all of this go, and then we're coming all the way to bring the hands behind you, fingers pointing forward, elbows softly bent, shoulders away from the ears, and just starting to find a beautiful little back bend here as you let the head drop down, finding some length through the front side of the throat, across the shoulders, and then starting to come all the way down, lowering down onto your forearms. And just making sure the shoulders are in line with the elbows, and just letting the pelvis be in a neutral bringing the belly button back towards the spine, and you might like to let the head come back as you find some length again through that front side of the heart center, the throat, keeping your core softly engaged, and then lowering all the way down onto your back. And just finding a lifting of the right knee in and any kind of movement with that, and then the left knee comes in. And you might just want to hold on to behind the legs somewhere. Maybe you might want to grab hold of either side of the feet, finding a little happy baby here. Maybe letting the feet come together as you bring the knees out wide, just finding a breath here. And then allowing the feet to float all the way back down onto your mat, and finding that neutral pelvis, allowing the feet to be connected evenly, and then we're starting to lengthen the legs and the arms long and spreading wide through the fingers. Then you're lifting the right arm up and the left leg comes up, and then going to the other side. As you continue with this, it's really, really important that you keep the belly button back towards the spine, so we're not bringing any pressure into that low back. And we're also just lifting the leg up as high as what it feels that you can keep that connection of core. You've got the ribs closed here, so just not splaying open those ribs, just keeping the shoulders relaxed, using your core to bring you up. And you might want to challenge yourself and start to lift the head and shoulders up at the same time, and then as you lower the arm and leg, lowering the head back down. But if you're finding that it's bringing any tension into the back or into the back of the neck, it's really important just to keep the head down, or just finding length through the back of the neck, so you're not tucking that chin in towards the chest. Your gaze is straight up, and you're using your core muscles to lift you up, reach, and lowering back down with control. Beautiful work, and staying here. And we are starting to just bring the arms all the way down by your sides, keeping the legs out wide. And then we are starting to lift one leg and then the other. So keeping this going, so keeping everything else really still. It's just a lift of one leg up and keeping control of those muscles through the leg as you slowly lower it back down. So again, making sure you've got that neutral pelvis. We're not tucking the tailbone and we're not pressing the tailbone down into the mat. You're keeping a really neutral spine, and you're using your core muscles to draw that leg up. And next time you bring the leg up, just starting to bend through the knee and then straightening the leg back out and lowering the leg back down with control. Continuing here with this. So we're finding that connection of all of the muscles through the outside of the leg, the outer thigh, the outside of the hips, the outside of the glute muscle on the side of the leg that's moving. And we're also keeping that core engagement. So we're really finding a strong core at the same time as really getting into the legs and just finding length and strength all at the same time. Nice. And finishing here and starting to bring one foot onto your mat, then the other, and taking a moment to find that neutral pelvis. Belly button comes back towards the spine, and just taking a moment here, maybe the palms are flipped down or up, and then you're reaching the arms up overhead. We're starting to bring one knee in and then the other. So we are alternating here. As you continue with this, I really want you to focus on lengthening the tailbone down towards the end of the mat. You've got your belly button to spine, and you're using those low abs to really draw that knee in, and then keeping that connection as you let the foot come back down. Nice. And then starting to bring the arms all the way up, circle sweep them around, and taking hold of behind the knees, or maybe hugging the knees in towards the chest. A little bit of movement through the feet, the toes, and then just bringing your head and shoulders up and engaging into that core. We're just finding a little lift up, so we're going to roll like a ball, bringing the chin to chest as you roll back, using your core to draw you back up. So rather than using momentum here, seeing if you can just let the abs do the work. So you're really using your core to draw you all the way up, and then you're keeping that core connection as you roll all the way back. This should be really nice for the spine as well. And lengthening up at the top, so shoulders are away from the ears. You're finding you're sitting up really tall here. And then next time you come up, you're bringing the legs out wide and starting to bring the chin to chest, reaching the fingertips towards the feet as you start to just bring that belly button back to spine. And then as you inhale, finding a little bit of length from the tailbone all the way up the spine. And then exhale as you bring the belly button back towards the spine and finding that C shape again. Nice. And then on an inhale, finding length here, sitting up really tall. And then as you exhale, starting to walk the fingertips forward, hinging at the hips and starting to come all the way out. Finding that length here, and then exhale as you fold down into a fold. Inhale, belly button back towards the spine as you sit up tall and reaching the arms up and releasing the arms down. Well done, you guys. You did awesome today. Can't wait to see you again soon.